College, and with our special guest here, who I'll introduce in a moment, the Majority Leader of the United States Senate, our own Chuck Schumer. Before I do that, obviously I'm joined by the Mayor, the City of Utica, Rob Palmieri, Senatorwoman Marion Buttonshon, President of this great institution, Randy Van Wagner, Heather Hage from the Griffiss Institute, President of Common Council Mike Alini, Councilman Frank DeBrango, at large, Frank DeBrango. And Katie, I didn't see Katie first. Katie from the first district. Thank you. So, we're all here
from
today.
the first district.
You got to start someplace, right?
It really is a great pleasure to introduce this gentleman, because he has always and continues to be a great friend to Oneida County, the City of Utica, everything we do, but he is and has been our U.S. Senator since 1998. He continues to travel and go to every single county in the state of New York every year. Nobody around the United States does that. Nobody in New York has ever done that. And for that, we are grateful, because we see him.
But I visit Oneida County many more times.
More times than more times than Oneida County. And the senator has repeatedly, throughout his tenure, brought home numerous funding pieces to this county, to the state, that has invested in things that you're going to hear about today. And certainly, it goes without saying that, recently, the CHIP Act, which was led by Senator Schumer, has brought really across the United States, but here in New York, the Micron deal would not happen in Syracuse. Wolfspeed would not happen without the leadership of our senator, and without the foresight of making technology, of high technology, a priority of his leadership in the Senate, along with all the other responsibilities that he has. So today we're here, and the senator is going to announce a few other things. A lot more money for our county, which we're always grateful for, especially for this institution and everything we're doing here. But without further ado, please welcome a great friend of mine, but a great friend of Oneida County, the City of Utica, the City of Rome, all of us, and certainly a leader, our great leader in New York State, Chuck Schumer.
Thank you. Thank you, County Executive Precenti, and it is great to be here with you and the mayor and so many great people. And let me just say first, I want to thank Anthony for the great lead, or whenever I come up here, I tell him what we would say his name was in Brooklyn, Anthony. But in any case, let me thank County Executive Precenti for the great job he does. I do get a lot of money for Oneida County and many of its institutions, but I know with the county executive, with the mayor, we get the City of Utica money, it's going to be well spent. It's going to be spent to what the community needs, not wasted or sat around or anything else. So that makes me breathe easier all the time, because half my job is to get money, which we've been very successful at. But the second is to make sure it's well spent once you get it. And the people around here who you're looking at help make that happen. It is my first visit to Oneida County since I've been reelected. I was reelected to a 5th term. That set a record. No senator in New York State has ever had 5 terms. And I was reelected to being majority leader. Don't look at the House of Representatives, the only thing that's happening in Washington. It took only 1 vote to elect me, and I was elected unanimously. So it's a little bit different than over there. But we hope they straighten out, because we want to work with them to try and get more things done for New York and for the country. Okay, we're also joined not only by the county executive and our mayor, but as you see, I guess behind me, they're almost behind me, Randy Van Wagner, who does a great job as the head of MVCC, and that's the grant we're announcing today. Heather Hage from the Griffiss Institute, Assembly member, does a great job. I was dear friends with someone I call Roro, and Marianne has taken that job over and done in a way that would make Roro proud. So thank you. We have Adam Milton. He's the Vice President of Mohawk Valley Plant Manager of one of our great new companies, Wolfspeed. Raise your hand, Adam. Where are you? Thank you. How many employees does Wolfspeed have now over there?
337. 337.
There you go, and going up. And they're doing great to help them. DeMayo couldn't be here today, but his great assistant, Bill Van Shufflin, is here from Edge, from Mohawk Valley Edge. Another great Oneida County company that's a cutting-edge company is Indium Corporation. Greg Evans is here. Greg, where are you? Thank you very much. And we have, as was mentioned by our county executive, our Common Council President, our council, Michael Galimi. That is how we'd say it in Brooklyn. Galimi. Frank DeBrango from the City of Utica, council member, and Katie Aiello from the 1st District.
I miss Chad Davis, our county legislator.
Oh, Chad, yes, we said hello before, and thank you, Chad, for being here. Okay, so.
Our minority leader's here. Where is he?
In the back.
Tim Julian, our minority leader.
Tim Julian, nice
There
to
he is
see you.
back there.
Pleasure, Tim. Thank you. Okay, great. So this shows you how bipartisan this all is, and that's how we ought to try to be doing things across the board. Okay, so today's a really exciting day, not only for Utica, but for the whole Mohawk Valley. All of 2022, the air was absolutely electric here, with Wolfspeed creating the first, largest, and only 200 millimeter silicon carbide fabrication facility in the world. That's right here in Marcy in the Mohawk Valley. Up the road, Micron, as the county executive mentioned, they come into central New York. That's the hugest private investment made in any new cutting edge industry in a very long time, not just in New York, but in the country. And Mohawk Valley is going to have huge benefits from that when Micron comes. Their 50,000 new employees cannot just come from Syracuse or even Onondaga County. It's going to have huge effects positive on this county. And there are many other tech companies making huge investments in upstate New York with thousands and thousands of good paying jobs on the horizon. Now, as many of you know, this wave of investment followed a bill that I championed. It's called the Chips and Science Bill, and it created specifically targeted incentives to bring manufacturing back from China and other overseas places to be right here in the Mohawk Valley. But one of the questions when these companies came, Wolfspeed, Micron, so many of the others, is do you have the labor force that we need? Because these jobs are high-end jobs, they're good paying jobs, but obviously they need some training. And so thanks to the federal incentives that I made sure were in the bill, we can answer the question that they ask us. How can we get ready to fill these jobs? Where can we get the training we need to prepare local workers for these great jobs? That's what the CEOs and the human resources people of any of these new companies ask. Well, I'm proud to announce that I've secured $2 million in federal funding for MVCC, for Mohawk Valley Community College, to help them create a new state-of-the-art semiconductor and advanced manufacturing training center. This is just what the people who graduate from our local high schools, Proctor and everywhere else, can then come here to MVCC, get the training, and they know with the increase in the need for them, they'll get a good paying job and can stay here. They don't have to go somewhere else to get a good paying job. That's a big switch from years ago. And so that means that we can give our local workers the skills they need and help our companies come. What is the funding going to do? It's going to purchase the latest in cutting edge technology to give the students hands-on experience. In other words, when you train students, it's not just a blackboard. They have to know to work the machines. These machines are fairly expensive. And so this money will go buy those machines so our young people can train on them and then walk down the street and get employed by many of the new companies that are here. It's going to create a pipeline of talent for tech companies to tap right here into the labor force in the Mohawk Valley, making it even easier for companies who want to locate here. Now I'm going to go over this poster behind me so you guys can take some pictures, my staff or whatever. This is what it's going to look like. Isn't that beautiful? Come over here, man. Come over here, Randy. Is this great? This is this beautiful building that will be right here, okay? And that's what the machines are going to be in that building, et cetera. So we're proud of it.
Look at the OD over here, the same picture also.
We'll get people out of the way.
OD right here.
Okay. Give everyone a chance, including my own staff, so I can put it on my website. Great. Thank you. Okay? That's great. So it's this great building that's going to have this stuff in it. The new building will allow MVCC to boost so many of their existing programs. Robotics, welding, and they're even going to expand degrees like electrical engineering, all the kind of jobs needed by our new companies that are coming here. It's a game changer. MVCC estimates they'll prepare over 2,400 students. That's huge. In STEM fields for the first 3 years alone, once the new facility is completed. So that's thousands of Mohawk Valley families that are going to have good paying jobs, whether it's a husband or a wife or a son or a daughter or a father or a mother. It's great, but there's even more. Joining us today, we also have Heather Hage, the president and CEO of Griffiss Institute in Rome, who can tell you firsthand the importance of having a skilled workforce for the kind of groundbreaking work they do at Rome Lab. And from quantum computing to unmanned aircraft systems. As you know, I've helped fund and increase the funding at Rome Labs over the years. You know how I first got involved, as Anthony and the mayor know, when I was a congressman. I didn't represent Utica. But Sherry Bollard said, come up and help me with Rome Labs. And I loved Sherry, and he was my friend. And so the first grant that actually went to Rome Labs in the DOD bill came from a Brooklyn guy. And then later, of course, when I came here, became senator, it was very, very important. So we are one of the centers for quantum research and quantum computing in the country. The military relies on us for that, especially with unmanned aircraft systems. In the end of year spending bill, where we got the money for MVCC, we got $7 million to spark new discoveries at the Rome Labs. Isn't that great? That's what we're it's $4.2 million for the construction of high-frequency antennas for the Newport and Stockbridge TEX annexes. Completion will provide the AFRL the capacity to continue to support our national security. So what they're doing at Rome Labs is making all of us safer, especially in this brave new world where we see certain kinds of weapons, drones and everything else can fly from far away. I also got $3 million for the Griffiss Institute's SmartX Internet of Things Living Lab that will connect innovation leaders in the region, like Innovair, like the New York UAS test site and Skydome, two great companies here, to connect further, advance us in tech leadership. And you know what's great about this? These are cutting edge industries for the future. You know, even when we fought to keep jobs here in Oneida County, often you'd say, well, that industry doesn't have much of a future. These we know are going to grow. I'll bet money that Wolfspeed will have a whole lot more employees 5 years from now than they do today. I'll bet the same on Indium. I'll bet the same on so many of our companies, including Rome Labs and, of course, Micron. And there are other companies still looking. I'm not going to talk about them. Don't ask me, press. Other companies still looking here at Marcy and at our other good, ready spaces. So this is a great optimism. And my goal has been to make upstate New York a huge tech center. And we're getting that to happen with semiconductor chips and advanced quantum research here in the Mohawk Valley, with chips and fuel cells. I just was at a dedication of Plug Power. They're employing 1,600 people at a new factory in Slingerlands near in the capital region. In creating in Binghamton, we just got $100 million for Binghamton to become the center of research for ion lithium batteries and one of the centers of manufacturing. People don't know this. At UB, there is a Nobel laureate whose name I think is Whittington. He's English, but he came, right?
Whittingham.
Whittingham.
Still English, you got it.
Still English.
We don't have many Whittinghams in Brooklyn, so we have more Pacentes. But in any case, he's there and he's passionate about this. In Rochester, we're one of the centers of green hydrogen and green hydrogen manufacturing, and in Buffalo, sort of what we're doing here, but with more augmentation, training advanced manufacturing and bringing advanced manufacturing back. So across all of New York State, we're putting cutting edge industries in, and we're going to become a national leader. And the days years ago when new industries located here and they had great futures, it's happening again. And I'm so proud and happy of that, and it's one of the accomplishments that I'm most proud of. So with that, let me call on our great Mayor Palmieri to say a few words, then we'll have Randy, then we'll have Heather, then we'll have Mary Ann. Okay?
Well, I'll keep it real short and sweet because I'd much rather listen to Heather and Randy. But again, I think it's the collaboration that we have with our great senator right here, the leader that he is not only for New York State, but he is for USA. And today we're looking at something, continuation of the greater Utica area, Mohawk Valley, whatever you want to term it as. These are the things that money are going into these projects that gives us the future of our region to be up and above any place else. Again, it's the workforce, but you have to have the training and the technology. And I think the senator has been a catalyst for this region, as he indicated. He didn't indicate, but really his roots are Utica, New York.
But he worked in what my grandpa worked in one of the older industries that didn't. He worked at, for the very few of you remember, the doeskin tissue factory, and he worked in one of the paper mills. Well, they're not there anymore, but these new industries will be there for decades to come. Excuse me.
Yep, you said it well, but I guess
He went to a place called UFA. Have the young people heard of UFA? I know.
It's still there, but it's not UFA. But then just to say thank you again for your leadership, for your vision of the region that we have at this point, and the opportunity that we have collectively. As you stated, it doesn't make a difference if you're Republican or Democrat. It's moving it forward, and I think you've moved it forward, and we thank you for that.
Thanks, Mayor. He's the only president.
No.
There is a president. Oh, president. Hi. Two presidents.
Well, Senator, thank you so much for being here and your support, and I appreciate everyone being here to help us celebrate this announcement, this incredible investment. The college, when we're at our best, we believe we transform lives through learning, and this investment that goes into this facility, this building will transform this campus, and this investment from the senator, with the senator's support, will transform this project. The building itself will be completely redeveloped through the support and leadership of the county executive, county board, the legislators, and then the state with Mary Ann and other elected officials in New York, building the building. And for anyone who's been involved in a capital construction, you have a budget, and the budget, you begin the project, and you have an equipment budget, and as costs and things change in that project, the equipment budget often will erode. And the senator and his staff listened to our needs with this project, and the county executive mentioned your foresight as in your leadership throughout, but the foresight with this project to specifically allow us to provide us the support for the state-of-the-art technology and the equipment, so that all the investment in the building will be amplified by this $2 million support and investment, so that we can actually match the $2 million with state dollars.
It's
To
less than
double
I
it.
have to come up with.
Sorry to give you more work.
But it will make it a
Good
state of
work,
the
as they
art.
say.
State of the art, and transform those lives to those high paying jobs in the tech sector. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for being with us to celebrate this great news today. The Griffiss Institute absolutely recognizes and we celebrate the Mohawk Valley region and Oneida County as a national leader in the delivery of trusted technologies to the American economy. the federal investments that the Senator has led in our technical capabilities at Rome Lab, here at Mohawk Valley Community College, our wonderful partners, and at Innovar Advancement Center just across the street in Rome and all across the region are absolutely essential to power our community's readiness and our impact on national security and on economic competitiveness, not just here in our region, but across the state and across the nation. So the investments we're discussing today will create opportunities and improve access for scientists, engineers, entrepreneurs, defense contractors, commercial companies, and talented students like those from MVCC that are going to help us advance smart cities capabilities, trusted autonomous systems. As the Senator said, we're moving into a world in which the connectivity and the interdependencies between technologies is going to be essential, and it's going to reshape our way of life. I read a projection just last night that by 2030, for every human on Earth, there will be 15 devices connected to the internet, if you could imagine that. So the focus of these projects that we will be working on is to ensure that we're able to get the greatest benefit from those technologies, to leverage the incredible work being done at the Air Force Research Laboratory Information Directorate in artificial intelligence and machine learning, in quantum information sciences, and in uncrewed aerial systems, and better translate those out to community impact right here in the Mohawk Valley region. So working together with all of you, working together with MVCC, we're looking forward to defining a new future where the fabulous technologies that we work on behind the fence at Rome Lab can come out for greater community benefit. We believe this is important, not just to diversify defense investments, but so that the people of our communities can enjoy a safer, more secure, and a better way of operating as our connection to the internet and our connection to each other increases through technology. So I want to thank County Executive Picenti. Thank you for the beautiful introductions, for all your support of our efforts at Innovar Advancement Center in Rome, and all you do in the community, as well as Assemblywoman Button-Shawn, always there for us, and thank you. President Van Wagner, I'm really happy for you. This is a wonderful thing to make happen, and having these two capabilities together and these interdependencies in this community we're building is a wonderful time to be in the Mohawk Valley. We're thrilled for Mohawk Valley Community College, and I especially want to thank Senator Schumer and your team for championing science and the translation of knowledge to practical applications here in our communities, on our farms, on our factory floors, and keeping us safe in our homes. And I know we share two things in common now. One is our parents choosing Utica as a place that they want to live and work, and the second is our admiration of and inspiration by Vannevar Bush.
Yes.
And so I like to say that Vannevar Bush famously wrote in 1945, "Science can be effective in the national welfare only as a member of a team, whether the condition be peace or war," right? But without scientific progress, no amount of achievement in other directions can inspire our health, prosperity, and security as a nation in the modern world. So Senator Schumer, thank you for all you do to invest in the tools that our community needs to usher in the next generation of scientific and technological achievement for our country and for making our region a better place to be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator, your heart is always with the Mohawk Valley, but we always know your purse is too, so thank you. This is clearly, you pick a winner when you pick the Mohawk Valley, as you know. Just looking at this room with all the partners, whether it's my electeds or our businesses, the collaboration is always here, and this is a great investment. You're definitely gonna see how wonderful of an investment it is. Thank you, and as my colleagues have said it all, thank you again.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Thank you. He was Secretary of Defense right after World War II, but he said if we don't heavily invest in science, the country is going to go by the wayside. And he led the charge to invest in NIH, which created the greatest pharmaceutical industry, and invest in NSF, and created the greatest, and DARPA, and gave us the greatest tech industry in the world. And it is, and even at the labs, a lot of the inventions they make there are then thrown off for civilian use as well, so it helps everybody. It's great. Questions from the media? Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
It was announced that SUNY Poly is transferring back to Albany. Was this I guess, discussed beforehand, or is this a result
No,
of
this
the
was,
transfer?
we resolved this before that even happened. And look, we're gonna make sure that as much of SUNY Poly stays here in Utica as possible. That's very important. I believe the governor believes that's important, and everybody else.
Do you think, go ahead. Do you think this investment will help the Mohawk Valley become the Silicon Valley?
It helps put us on the way there, yes. We hope that the whole Erie Canal corridor, from Albany to Buffalo, Albany, Utica, Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, will be the new Silicon Valley way, yes.
I have an off topic. If
Wanna get
everyone's
finished
still
on
on
topics?
Anybody? Yep.
Okay, we'll take one off topic.
Okay.
Usually I like to stick to the topic. but-
I know, but that's fine. I'm sorry. I'm sure you
Sorry.
won't be shocked by the subject matter, but now a second batch of classified documents found in one of the president's
Yes.
residences, and now a special counsel appointed. So honestly, would just like to hear your thoughts.
My
and
thoughts
what
are-
sorts and how you'd like to see it
I'd
resolved.
like to see what the president is doing. I think he's cooperating. The minute he found the documents, he let the archives know. He's cooperating completely with the authorities. That's how it ought to be. Okay, all right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Senator.
Have a great day. Thank you.